opportunity to grind guys down.
Yeah, Victor had a great at bat in that one. I don't know what inning it is. Mason had a great one, in the 8th. Jordan, had long at bats, and so whether you come out on the winning side or losing side of those at bats, it just kind of tires down that pitcher and makes the manager think a little bit, get the bullpen hot, and so obviously when up with a base hit or a walk, it's even better. But it's pretty cool to see everybody kind of going in there, stepping in, digging in, and taking the pitch at bats.
When we talked to you during spring a lot about kind of what the identity of this team is and kind of what a good version of this team looks like, it was pretty much with these first 2 games, like that kind of relentless style.
Yeah.
How important is it for you all to set that bar and have that show that you can play to it and kind of have that as a standard?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think being able to come out with a win, adrenaline's rushing in the first game, and then you come out there victorious. But then today, coming back and having that same style of baseball and grinding stuff out and playing hard on the defensive side, playing hard on the offensive side, not taking any at bats off. Like you said, it's good to prove to the guys early that that's kind of what we're trying to do.
How do you value what you've been able to do overall, at the plate, but also you've been able to get a good snag outfield? So just overall your play, what are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to get up to a good start. Obviously, be 2-0 is huge, but I just think trying to be stubborn at the plate and then lock in on defense. And I think JJ's done a good job with us in the outfield, and then Brownie's done a really good job preparing us for what we're trying to look for at the plate. So obviously you want to come out with wins, and so when you do that, there's a lot of that.
I think 6 of your first 7 hits for the team today were with 2 strikes. You had 11 2-strike hits so far. What does that say about the way the team is maybe changing the approach when you have 2 strikes?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's changing the approach necessarily for guys, or if it's just sticking to what they are, and guys aren't giving in. I think, which is good. And so having confidence with 2 strikes is huge, and so we have a pretty young team, so being able to get guys comfortable into their feet early on, especially with 2 strikes and a good staff like that, bodes well for us.
You mentioned a pitcher getting on a couple times at the bottom of the order. What does that do for you guys at the top of the order? Once it turns over, him grinding out his bats?
Yeah, I mean, he took some good at bats today, and then he's able to take second base too, which is huge. And so being able to get Vic on is important to us because we can move him into scoring position, decent amount of times with his speed, and so all you need is a base hit, he's scoring. So be able to get a guy like him get going, it's going to be really valuable for us.
Did you see the catcher your second bat when you drove in the runs? He was basically standing up. He wanted to die and tied him here, and he missed down the middle. You're not missing those pitches when you're down the middle right now. Is it just a matter of seeing the ball well?
Yeah, I think just sticking to the approach, and obviously if you get a good pitch to hit, you want to be ready for that in that at bat. And I didn't see that, but I went back and looked, and I saw they were trying to go high and tight there, and so that's the name of the game. It's just trying to make the most of their mistakes, and so you're not gonna hit the guy's best pitches. That's just the reality of the game. So trying to be make the most of your opportunities when they do miss. I guess maybe game plan a little bit differently tomorrow. Seeing what they're trying to set up, but we'll see.
You prouder of the ribeyes or the catch?
Good question. Probably a catch, because that helps steady out and keeps what was maybe a little bit of bleeding out early, just gets us back into the dugout and then helps the team get back into a rhythm. I think it's huge, and you see it early where Siani's coming in the 8th inning, Pedro's coming in late in the game, and so guys getting opportunities early to get themselves into the game, and whether I think Pedro gets a start tomorrow, whatever it is, they don't feel like it's the first time going out there too. It doesn't go unnoticed how valuable that is for our team, being able to throw guys in there in the late innings of the game and come out and do their job. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Jumps right in. Ball's gonna find you when you get thrown in there. But he's on our team for a lot of reasons. But making a play at the wall in the 8th or 9th inning, that's a pretty good reason.
Dick mentioned a couple times that he's thinking of himself as a hit collector today. One of Brownie's phrases to be a hit collector.
Yeah.
Are you also in the hit collector club, or do you have a different?
He hasn't really told me, and I don't know if I do have a label yet.
Okay.
I may never have a label. Who knows? But we have some hit collectors, and then I think over time, Vic will get to a point where he understands who he is as a hitter, and then develop from there. But to be able to have that foundation early, know what his game is, and then kind of excel at that.
What do you think the first time you heard Brownie say there's a time to slug, there's a time to hit? Is that a mindset thing?
Yeah, and you obviously always want to slug and do the best you can, but against good staff, sometimes it is being a hit collector at those times, and being unselfish and taking it where you can. And so, so far, I think this team's done a really good job of that.